Ladies and gentlemen, namaste, a very good morning and welcome to Canada India Foundation's 19th session of our virtual webinar speaker series on Ayurveda. My name is Satish Thakkar, Chair of Canada India Foundation, and we have our national convener, Mr. Ritesh Malik, and Dr. Harish Verma, President, Canadian Ayurvedic Practitioners Association with us. Friends, today we also have a very special guest, Honorable Michael Chong, Member of Parliament with us. Honorable Chong is the Vice Chair of the Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and International Development. He's a great friend of India and a great friend of Canada India Foundation. Thank you, Honorable Chong, for joining us this morning. Friends, the topic of today's discussion is Ayurveda Management of Anal Fissure, and we are very happy to have Dr. P. Hemanta Kumar with us. Thank you for joining, Professor. And friends, today is also a very special occasion as we are celebrating Canadian Multiculturalism Day, a day to cherish the value of freedom, democracy, individual rights, and rule of law. It is also a day to celebrate the contributions of diverse cultures that make up Canada and our way of life. The year 2021 marks particularly special as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Canadian Multiculturalism Policy. A very happy Multicultural Day to all. And friends, as we discussed earlier, we have a very special topic today on Ayurveda Management of Anal Fissure. An anal fissure is a small cut or a tear in the lining of the anus. The crack in the skin causes severe pain and some bright red bleeding during and after bowel movements. At times, the fissure can be deep enough to expose the muscle tissues underneath. The fissure of less than 6 to 8 weeks duration are acute, and those persisting longer are chronic. Up to 87% of the acute fissures are treated with a high fiber diet or stool bulking agents. Patients with the chronic fissures require the addition of topical smooth muscle relaxants. Medical management heal chronic fissures in 65 to 95% of the patients. An anal fissure usually isn't a serious condition. It can affect the people of all ages and is often seen in infants and young children, since constipation is a common problem in these age groups. So the objective of today's webinar is to understand how our 6,000-year-old Ayurveda as an effective alternative healthcare system can provide a remedy for this disease. This Ayurvedic lecture series is in partnership with Canadian Ayurvedic Practitioners Association, Consul General of India, Toronto, and Vedic Spiritual Heritage Foundation. Before we begin, let me invite our national convener, Mr. Ritesh Malik, to introduce our special guest, Honorable Michael Chong. Ritesh, over to you.
Thank you, Satish ji. Namaste and welcome everyone. Our special guest today, Honorable Michael Chong, was first elected to Parliament in 2004 and represents the riding of Wellington Halton Hills. He currently serves as Shadow Minister of Foreign Affairs for the official opposition. In 2006, Michael served in the federal cabinet as President of the Queen's Privy Council, Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs, and Minister for Sport. He's a co-founder and member of All Party Climate Caucus since it was formed in 2011. In the 42nd Parliament, Michael served as the official opposition's Shadow Minister for Infrastructure and Shadow Minister for Science. In 2015, Michael's Reform Act passed in Parliament and became law. The Reform Act begins to address a long-standing problem in Ottawa, the concentration of power in party leaders. It gives MPs more power to represent their constituents and Canadians. Prior to his election, Michael acted as Chief Information Officer for the National Hockey League Players Association and as a Senior Technology Consultant to the Greater Toronto Airports Authority for the redevelopment of Pearson International Airport. Michael attended Trinity College in the University of Toronto, where he obtained a degree in philosophy. He has always been a great friend of India and always has championed stronger bilateral relations with all strategic partners of Canada, especially India. Over to you, Michael.
you, Ritesh, for that introduction. It's good to see everybody on the call. And thank you for inviting me here this morning to say a few words of greeting. As you know, Canada and India have long had strong and close bilateral relations built on our two shared principles, which is a belief in democracy and a belief in pluralism. We also share family ties. Millions of Canadians, almost 2 million Canadians, trace their roots back to India, and many Canadians have family back home in India. It's one of the largest diaspora communities abroad, and something that has contributed greatly to the development of Canada and to the building of our nation. This deep connection and principles and ties is growing through official dialogues between the Canadian government and the Indian government, through agreements, memoranda of understanding, and numerous working groups. There are currently 4 strategic partnerships that are underpinned by official ministerial dialogues. We have one on foreign policy, another one on trade and investment, a third one on finance, and a fourth one on energy. In addition to that, at the officials level, as they say in Ottawa, there are a number of working groups that focus on additional areas like working to counter terrorism, security, agriculture, education, and science and technology. India is the world's 5th largest economy, as you know, and Canada's 10th largest trading partner. And so we all have an interest in broadening and deepening ties between Canada and India, particularly in the area of energy, nuclear energy, conventional energy, transportation, education, commercialization of innovation, and agriculture. And so we have a number of agreements underpin that relationship as well, some of which were negotiated under the previous government, some of which were negotiated by the current government. I'll finish by saying that Canada and India need each other more than ever, and that's why the Canada-Indian Foundation is so important in helping us develop through civil society broader and deeper ties with the Republic of India. It's no news to anyone that the world is changing and that democracies are particularly under pressure from rising authoritarianism around the world. And so democracies need to work more closely together, diplomatically, politically, economically, and otherwise to counter this challenge from rising authoritarianism. And so governments can't do it alone. In a democracy, society is more than government. It's made up of millions of individuals like yourselves who come together through civil society groups like the Canada-India Foundation to work toward the common good. So thank you for the work that you do, not just today, but each and every day in between these meetings for fostering that closer relationship. We believe in developing much closer ties with the Republic of India, particularly in the area of security. India has been a leader in the Indo-Pacific region of the world in helping to restart the quadrilateral security dialogue with the United States, with Australia, and with Japan. We believe Canada should seek to join that group of 4 democracies and expand it to a 5th democracy, Canada, in order to help build stronger security ties to counter some of the rising authoritarianism in the Indo-Pacific region. And so we look forward to that work with the Republic of India. And I note that the consulate, I think the consulate in Toronto is co-sponsoring this event. We work closely with the High Commission in Ottawa and remain in close contact with them on various issues of bilateral concern. So thank you very much for having me here on what is a beautiful start to a summer, Canadian summer, a short Canadian summer. And I wish you all the well as you listen to your talk from your expert on healthcare challenges we all face as we continue to age. Thank you very much for having me. Namaste.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Michael Chong, for joining us this morning. This is Sunday morning, and taking your time out from the family time and joining and sharing your thoughts on India. As you know, that Canada India Foundation for the last decade and a half working very, very closely that how we can deepen or strengthen the ties, and your remarks are very inspiring, and we look forward to working with you very closely. Recently, we concluded one healthcare summit also, and healthcare is a key priority area that how we can ease up the burden and by promoting some of these preventative techniques. And this today's lecture series is a kind of a effort towards that direction. So we look forward to working very closely with you. Thank you so very much for joining. Friends, now let me invite our expert speaker of this morning, Professor P. Hemanta Kumar. He's the Dean, Postgraduate Studies Professor and Head PG Department of Shalya Tantra, National Institute of Ayurveda, India. He is General Secretary of National Sushruta Association, and with over 23 years of teaching experience, Professor Kumar do have to his credit 4 books, over 142 research papers, and supervised over 18 doctoral theses in Ayurveda. As Ayurveda practitioner, he performed over 20,000 surgical and para-surgical procedures. He was awarded with Sushruta Ratna Award in 2009 by National Sushruta Association, and Acharya Award in 2017 by CCIM and Ministry of Ayush, Government of India. Welcome, Professor Kumar. We are looking forward to your presentation. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Om Dhanvantaraya Namaha, Om Manjunadaya Namaha. Respected all the practitioners of Canada and all Ayurvedic fraternity to attending today's webinar. It's a very interesting topic, common problem, that is fissure in ano. Next slide. See, this is our institute, National Institute of Ayurveda. It's a deemed university, NAC accredited and NABH accredited. And in our National Institute of Ayurveda, around 14 departments are there. And I am heading Shalya Tantra, that is Ayurvedic surgery. Next slide. See, this is very important symbol of proctology. Proctology means the diseases related to the proctum, anal canal and rectum, it considered as a proctology. And I created this symbol in 2000. Anguli evam pradhana yantram gudavikare. That means finger is very important for diagnosis, especially anorectal diseases. That's why digital examination or proctoscopic examination, we must to confirm so many diseases. Maybe to confirm either growth or polyp, or maybe ulcer, or maybe cancer, or maybe abscess. So many anorectal conditions you can diagnose with the digital examination. See, this is very important. That's why I created this symbol of proctology in anorectal disorders. Anguli evam pradhana yantram gudavikare. See, normally every person suffering one time in their life with the complaints of anorectal disorders or anorectal conditions like hemorrhoids, fissure in ano or anal fissure, fistula in ano, or anorectal abscess, sinus or pilonidal sinus, rectal prolapse, and rectal cancer. And commonly, you can see the commonest causative factors see in anorectal conditions to develop like piles, fissure, fistula, or abscess or cancer. These are the common causative factors. The commonest complaint of the patient is chronic constipation. So this is the very important causative factor for to develop so many anorectal disorders due to constipation, especially continuously straining at the toilet due to repeated pressure in the rectal or anal veins. It leads to hemorrhoids, or it leads to fissure in ano or other conditions. See, this is another very important is faulty habits of the defecation, irregular habits, and they will urge, if the urge is coming and they are controlling and they are postpone of the defecation, and that is also leads to some anorectal problems. Next. See, another very important factor mentioned in Ayurveda, that is ahar. Food is very important. Dietic habits are very important to develop the disease or to prevent the disease, especially in anorectal diseases who are taking less fiber diet, unhealthy food, spicy food, caffeine, alcohol, and excessive intake of the flour and sugar, and large and heavy meals. That is called Susruta or Charakacharya. They mentioned about the Viruddhahar. Viruddhahar especially leads to anorectal conditions. Another important causative factor to develop anorectal conditions, sedentary habits. Nowadays, the lifestyle is changed. Lack of exercise and continuously working, either sitting posture or maybe standing posture or maybe relaxed posture without any strenuous work. Definitely, it increases the abdominal wall, contracts, increases the rectal pressure. Commonly, it occurs piles, fissure, fistula, etc. Next. Another very important exciting factors. See, regular exercise is very important. Exciting, over exercise, excessive lifting of the heavy weights, over purgation, diarrhea of either suffering with colitis, dysentery, enteritis, ulcerative colitis, etc. It leads to anorectal condition. And some other factors also involved to develop anorectal disorders like piles, fistula, fissure, sinus, due to continuously sitting in cold seat or soft cushion, alcohol, vehicle riding. See, I in my practice, maximum patients are continuous vehicle riding, maybe bike riding or maybe heavy vehicles riding or maybe car riding, continuously riding. Riders, they're more suffer with piles, fissure, fistula, abscess, sinus, etc. And commonly anorectal conditions seen in old age because of loss of muscle tone and obesity. This is also a very important factor to develop constipation, leads to anorectal disorders. Another very important causative factors of especially fissure in ano, fistula in ano, due to any history of episiotomy in pregnancy, during delivery condition, or in rectal surgeries, or any history of anal intercourse, they developed multiple fissure in ano. Next. See, today, before going to discuss about the main topic of fissure in ano, the common anorectal disorders like hemorrhoids. In Ayurvedic, they mentioned as arshas. What is hemorrhoids? Hemorrhoids or piles, it is the commonest condition. The mass appears at the rectal region. Patient can see during defecation, there is a mass around the rectum. Due to dilated or enlarged veins in the walls of the anus, the mass occurs around the rectum. Usually, the chronic constipation is the important causative factor. Next. The common symptoms of piles, the bleeding rectum, prolapse, mass during defecation, sometimes by inflammation of the mass leads to pain or mucus discharge or pruritus anal, anal itching, continuous long-standing hemorrhoids or piles leads to anal itching, and continuously blood loss, bleeding per rectum leads to anemia. You see in this picture, there is a two types of piles. One is external piles, another is called internal piles. External piles covered with the skin, internal piles is covered with the normal mucosa, rectal or anal mucosa. It is reddish in color. See, by prolapse of nature of piles, there are 4 grades: grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. Grade 1 means the patient complains only bleeding per rectum. There is no prolapse of the mass, only bleeding per rectum. Grade 2, there is a bleeding per rectum and there is a prolapse of mass comes during defecation and it reduces the rectal mass after defecation. That is called grade 2. Grade 3, bleeding per rectum is there, prolapse of the mass after defecation, and it's not possible to reduce spontaneously. It needs manual disposition of the pile mass inside the rectum. That is called grade 3. Grade 4, it is permanently prolapsed. It is very difficult to either manual disposition of the piles. That's why in early stages, we can diagnose the case during bleeding per rectum and prolapse spontaneously coming and outside, like grade 1, grade 2, we can treat with medical management. If it is not responding, it leads to grade 3, grade 4, you can treat with either surgical or parasurgical management with the help of Ayurvedic parasurgical procedures like Shara Karma, it is caustic therapy. Shara Sutra, it is a medicated set-on, medicated thread, you can ligate the pile mass. Next. There is another condition is called Bagandhara, that is fistula in ano, anal fistula. This is another condition we can see in anal area. It is a tract which connects deeply into the anal canal or rectum and superficially on the skin around the anus. Here there is no complaint of bleeding per rectum, but only complaint of the small pus discharge from the external opening of the fistula, and it connects internally with the anal canal and rectum. Next. See, these are the symptoms. You can see there are different types of fistulas are there, but the main complaint of the patient is purulent discharge, pus discharge, and external opening, sometimes it is closed, occluded. It leads to pain and swelling. And there is no history of bleeding per rectum in fistula in ano. And by examination, maybe single opening or maybe multiple openings around the anal canal, we can identify the either inflammation, induration, opening, pus discharge, etc. Next. There is another condition is Guda Vidradi, that is anorectal abscess. See, usually 50% of the anorectal abscess, they converted into fistula in ano. Why? Because the abscess is not properly drained in time or maybe delayed. They developed the infection of the anal glands, that leads fistula in ano. See, here there are different types of fistula ano to develop with anorectal abscess like perianal abscess, ischiorectal abscess, supralevator abscess. These are the different spaces present around the anorectal region. They developed abscess due to infection of the anal glands. Next. Usually here the abscess occurs due to blockage of glands by infected glands, create an abscess and produce pus formation, pain and swelling, and definitely there is a history of constipation and history of fever, sometimes with the chills also you can see in the perianal abscess. Next. There is another condition in anorectal disorders, the commonly is sinus, nadi vrana, pilonidal sinus. This is the commonest condition. It is also called as a jeep driver's disease, who are continuously driving. They developed this sinus, and this is the commonest seen in the young patients, maybe male patients or female patients. We can see this pilonidal sinus occurs due to infection of the hair, pilonidal. That means there is an infection of the hairs, especially it is a small hole or tunnel appears at the top of the buttocks, where they divide the cleft contains hair and skin. It is called as the sinus. At complaint pain or drainage of the pus or blood at the buttocks region, top of the buttocks region, you can consider as a pilonidal sinus. This disease also we can treat with the help of Ayurvedic parasurgical procedure, that is called either Kshara Karma, caustic therapy, or Kshara Sutra is a medicated setup. There is another condition commonly we can see in the children's or elderly patients, we can see rectal prolapse. See here it is not a piles. Maybe piles are prolapsed, but rectum is different condition, or mucosa or submucosa, or all the layers of the rectum is comes outside, protrudes from the anus. That is called as a rectal prolapse. It is named as a Gudabramsa in Ayurveda. Next. So you can see there are two types of rectal prolapse. One is called partial rectal prolapse. Only is a partial thickness of the rectum, either mucosa and submucosa layer of the rectum, it is coming outside, commonly seen in the children's due to malnutrition or any other abnormalities. And chronic diarrhea also is very important causative factor in children. Complete rectal prolapse commonly seen in elderly patients, female patients associated with uterine prolapse. In this complete rectal prolapse, there is a complete full thickness of the rectum is prolapsed. It is considered as a complete rectal prolapse. In this condition also we can treat with Ayurvedic management without any surgery. There is another condition, rectal cancer, that is Guda or Buddha. It is the cancer occurs in the rectum or maybe in the anal canal. It is also one of the important disease because of nowadays change of lifestyle, change of sedentary life, and it is the commonest condition occurs in anorectal region. Especially the patient complaint of bleeding per rectum is there, and weakness, appetite changes, maybe loss of appetite, and weight loss is very important. Continuous bleeding of rectum and anemia occurs, and loss of weight, emaciation, and there is a continuous abdominal discomfort and irregular, especially bowel habits, maybe sometimes diarrhea or maybe sometimes constipation. That's why continuous chronic constipation you must to confirm by examination with digital examination or colonoscopy or sigmoidoscopy to confirm any growth is there or not. That you can confirm. These are the continuous bleeding per rectum history. Next. Then today's what we are going to discuss is a very important commonest problem occurs in anorectal condition, that is fissure in ano. There is a small crack or ulcer at the anal canal, and it is very cruciating and severe pain occurs during defecation and also after defecation. In Ayurvedic literature, the anal fissure, it is named as a parikartika. Parikartika is a Sanskrit word. It means excessive cutting pain around the anus. Next. See, in fissure in ano, a longitudinal tear in the mucosa and skin of the anal canal, commonly seen in the posterior midline and more commonly in the female than in the male, especially who are the multiparous women and continued deliveries, episiotomy, and chronic constipation, etc. Their leads commonly seen in the females. There is a fissure in ano. And sometimes, usually either posteriorly or anteriorly seen, sometimes there is a lateral fissures also seen due to some systemic disorders like inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, or tuberculosis, or maybe malignancy also. You must to rule out if any lateral fissures are there, you must to identify systemic disorders. Then commonest causative factors of fissure in ano is tearing of the anal lining by over distension of the anal canal during passage of large stools, that is called scabaloids. Hard stools that pass through the anal canal, they developed as a tear in the anal canal. This tear of the anal valves or fibrous polyps and laceration of the anal canal by the sharp foreign body, sometimes by induction of the Vastikarma, by introduction of the enema tube, or maybe some other procedures may injury to the anal canal, leads to fissure in ano. And excessive straining during childbirth, during normal delivery, then there is a chances of fissure in ano. And any previous anal surgeries leads to fissure in ano. Next. There are two types of fissure in ano. One is acute condition, another is chronic condition. See, in acute condition, what happens? A deep tear in the epithelium of the anal margin extending into the anal canal. Only there is a tear is there, small ulcer is there, and very severe spasm of the anal sphincter, they developed as a little inflammatory induration. That's why it is an acute agonizing pain with the bleeding we can consider as a fissure in ano. Next. There is another condition is called chronic anal fissure. If not treated properly with acute anal fissure, definitely it becomes as a chronic anal fissure. That's why if you treat properly with acute anal fissure, and we can avoid chronic condition and we can avoid surgery in chronic fissures. We can manage with either dietic habits and increasing of the fiber diet and loose softness, etc. We can manage with acute fissures. And especially coming to chronic fissure, here there is a pain is there, ulcer is there, or tear is there in the anal canal, but may be associated with some small tag. You can felt in the anal margin. The patient complained there is a mass at the anal margin. Along with the pain, it is named as a sentinel pile or sentinel tag, and associated with hypertrophied anal papilla. Already we discussed this anal papilla infection. By chronic condition, they developed as a mass inside the anal canal and also the outside the anal canal. Next. Coming to clinical features, it is commonly the fissure in ano affects young or middle-aged adults, common in female than the male, rarely in old age, and may occur in the infancy. Old age commonly above 50 years, you can see commonly in the hemorrhoids or piles. But in young patients, we can see the fissure in ano is the commonest condition. Usually the patient complaint usually comes to clinic. There is a severe agonizing pain before starting defecation and after defecation. After defecation, up to 6 hours or 12 hours, the continuous pain is there, we can identify fissure in ano. Then chronic constipation is another complaint of the patient, and bleeding. Here there is a bleeding, there is a streak on the stool. After passing of the stool, there is a small streak on the stool with the bleeding is there. We can identify the bleeding comparison with the piles. In piles, there's a drop-wise bleeding is there. In fissure, there is a streak on blood. On the stool, we can identify the fissure in ano. And sometimes chronic condition, we can see the mucus discharge. Next. But in fissure in ano, if not properly treated, it leads to some complications like infection, abscess, subcutaneous fistula in ano, sentinel tag or sentinel pile, enlarged papillae or hypertrophied anal papillae, and anal contracture. See, this is very important to treat acute or chronic fissure in ano within time to avoid the complications. Coming to management of Ayurvedic line of management, there are 3 types of management mentioned in Ayurveda. Still, we are practicing with good results without any recurrence. One treatment is Bheshaja, that is medical management. There is another treatment is Sastra Karma, that is surgical management. And there is another very important management is Anusastra Karma, that is parasurgical management. Next. Coming to medical management, especially in acute anal fissures, we can treat with the medical management without any surgery, without any surgical complications. What in modern counterpart, they're using sphincterotomy or maybe lateral sphincterotomy or open method or closed method. To avoid complications, we can use with our medical management with the help of local enema. In Ayurvedic, the very important procedure that is called Anuvasana Vasti, that is oil enema. We can give 20 to 30 ml morning and evening with the help of rubber catheter or infant feeding tube with the help of 20 ml or 50 ml syringe we can use in acute fissure. Carefully, you can insert into the rectum. In my practice, Estimadu Taila, Jatyadi Taila, Mahanarayana Taila, Anu Taila. These are the drugs, medicated drugs made with oil. It is easily available in the market, and we can use this medication around 15 days. We can heal the complete acute fissure in ano with the help of Anuvasana Vasti. It reduces the pain, inflammation, and relieve the constipation. This is very important. It helps fissure in ano, healing of the wound. Next. See, this is oil enema. See, already mentioned, you can use with 50 cc ml. You can take 20 to 30 ml of either Estimadu Taila or Jatyadi Taila, morning and evening. Carefully, you can insert into the anal canal and push the 20 to 30 ml inside in left lateral position and wait for 10 to 15 minutes in that position. And we can go for 2 times per day for 15 days. We can reduce the acute fissure in ano for proper healing of the fissure wound. Another in my practice, perrectal application. Why? Because this is very important. See, I'm showing it the finger. See, one patient finger with gloved finger, we can apply the like Durvadi Gruta, Estimadu Gruta, Changeri Gruta, Jatyadi Gruta, Ropana Gruta, Karanjadi Gruta. These are the drugs. We conducted research in our institution with encouraging results. We are treating the patient without any surgery and without any recurrence. We are using this medications along with the dietic regime, we can treat with acute fissure in ano with the help of Durvadi Gruta, Estimadi Gruta, etc. And another very important, we are practicing Sidge bath. This is very important. Almost all anorectal conditions, we are advising Sidge bath with the help of either Triphala Quada or Panchavalkala Quada with warm water. We can use for daily 2 times, 5 to 10 minutes. You can go for Sidge bath. You can reduce the pain and inflammation of the fissure in ano. Next. See, these are some of the internal medications we are practicing regularly in our hospital with encouraging results like Triphala Gugulu, Gandhaka Rasayana, Nimbadi Gugulu, Shigru Gugulu. These are all tablets, Gugulu, we can use 2 morning, 2 night after food. Up to 15 days or up to 21 days, we can use this medication. Definitely it heals the wound and it relieves the infection. And especially we are giving Abhayarishta for laxative purpose and also for the digestive purpose. Deepanam, Pachanam, we can go for this Abhayarishta and Usirasava and Triphala Churna. Triphala Churna is the best laxative we can use for why? Because purgatives are avoided in fissure in ano. We can go for bulk producing either Isabgol or maybe Triphala Churna or Avipatikar Churna, Shatchakara Churna. We can use for internal medication to relieve the constipation. We can heal the fissure wound. Next. See, this is very important. Constipation is the commonest causative factor for fissure in ano or other anorectal diseases. We can encourage, these are the home remedies are available to relieve the constipation like herbal tea, honey, flax seeds, figs, lemon, prunes, spinach, leafy vegetables, drinking, especially 3 to 4 liters per day, we can encourage for the water to reduce the constipation. And there is a surgical references also available, especially in chronic fissure in ano with the sentinel tag or hypertrophied anal papilla. It needs a surgical intervention. It is mentioned by the Susruta. With not controlled with acute fissure, it leads to chronic fissure. Then you can go for surgical excision. Next, another very beauty of our Ayurvedic attracting of maximum patients in anorectal practice, that is parasurgical procedures. Without using of any knife or scissors, we can use with the help of Kshara Sutra. It is very popularized globally, practicing of Kshara Sutra in anorectal conditions like piles, fistula, fissure, sinus, etc. It is very authentic and it is a proved scientifically and established this treatment, Kshara Sutra. One is medicated caustic thread. Number 2, Kshara Karma. This is alkali, caustic alkali therapy we can apply into the infected fissures. And number 3 is called Agni Karma. Agni Karma is a dermal cautery. Nothing we are using nowadays with the help of either dermal cautery or maybe the unipolar cautery, bipolar cautery, radiofrequency coagulation, new modified techniques like laser, etc. These are all comes under the principle of Agni Karma mentioned by the Ayurveda. Next. See, Kshara Sutra is a medicated caustic thread. Already explained. You can use in chronic anal fissures with the sentinel pile. We can ligation with the help of Kshara Sutra. You can excise the sentinel tag with help of medicated caustic thread. Next. See, these are the ingredients. These are the prepared medicated thread prepared with help of Apamarga Acaranthus aspera, Snuhi, Euphorbia nereifolia, and Haridra cucumbagum. These 3 drugs are used to prepare Kshara Sutra. See, you can see this picture. You can see sterile Kshara Sutra made. You can apply it either piles or fistula or fissure in ano with the sentinel tag. We can apply with the caustic thread without any recurrence, without any post-operative surgical complication. You can treat with Kshara Sutra medicated thread. See, these are the pre-operative condition of Kshara Sutra. It's very important. These are the instruments we can, either proctoscopes, files holding forceps, needle holder, artery forceps, etc. You can plan for elective cases. Before one night, you can give the light diet and laxatives. Next day, 2 to 4 hours nil orally before procedure. And if possible, you can give a small soap water enema or maybe saline enema or proctoclase enema. Then plan for operative, that is Kshara Sutra procedure. Next. These are the instruments we can see, Kshara Sutra, probe and everything is there available here. Next. See, here we are applying to create a small incision at the sentinel tag under local anesthesia, and we can tie it with the help of curved body needle, and the whole pile mass, that is sentinel pile mass, is ligated, transfixed, and leave as it is. And you can pack with Yashtamadu or Jatyadi tail. Next. In post-operative, Paschat Karma, we can allow the patient orally. This is a simple ambulatory procedure, daycare procedure. And regularly you can advise the patient for Sirjabath. Already we discussed with help of Panchavalkala Kvada and Trifala Kvad. And Trifala Gugulu, Gandhaka Rasayana. And very important, no effort should be made to pull out the Kshara Sutra or sentinel pile mass. And sentinel tag falls out within 5 to 7 days after ligation. Remaining fissure in ano, we can treat with the help of Matravasti, oil enema, Sirjabath, and application of the Yashtamadu Guruta and Jatyadi Guruta. Next. See, Kshara Sutra in hypertrophied anal papillae. In chronic condition of the fissure also we can ligate Kshara Sutra. Next. See, another parasurgical procedure, that is Kshara Karma. Here we are using external application of the Kshar. That is a small paste-like solid paste we can apply on the infected fissure in ano to avoid infection, to avoid fistula formation, to avoid abscess formation. We can treat with the help of Kshara. It's prepared with Apamarga, Acranthus aspera, Shukti, oyster shell or conch shell, Chitraka, that is Plumbaga gelanica. These 3 drugs are made, we prepared as a caustic and apply into the fissure bed. These are the instruments before procedure. Same procedure we can see in before and after pre-operative and post-operative as like a Kshara Sutra procedure. See, here you can see applied at the fissure bed, infected fissure bed. This is a very interesting case. Fissure bed, they developed as a small abscess and they developed as an internal blind fistula. In that condition, we applied fissure in ano to avoid the recurrence. And another condition mentioned in Ayurveda, that is Agni Karma, dermal cautery. You can excise the sentinel tags, hypertrophied anal papilla with the help of dermal cautery. See, coming to last part, is a very important part mentioned in Ayurveda. This is the beauty of Ayurveda. Do's and do nots. This is very important. If you follow do's and do nots, you can avoid anorectal conditions. Next. Next. Next slide. Do's to prevent anorectal diseases like fiber-rich diet, like green leafy vegetables, and plenty of fluids and milk products, especially water, fruit juice, buttermilk, etc. We can avoid anorectal conditions. Next. Salads is very important. Regularly we can take cucumber, carrot, radish, beetroot, etc. High fiber diet, and seasonal fruits like papaya, pomegranate, apple, mango, orange, watermelon, etc. We can reduce the anorectal diseases. And dry fruits also we can use like cashew nut, almond, etc. Next. Exercise. This is very, very important. Exercise like walking, jogging, running, cycling, skipping, etc. Regularly, proper exercise to avoid obesity can reduce the anorectal disorders, to avoid constipation. Another very important is bowel habit. Bowel habit, usually what happens, straining during bowel, during defecation must to avoid. And very important nowadays, so many peoples, they're using mobile phones, charting in toilets. You must to avoid this. Definitely you can avoid the constipation and avoid anorectal conditions. Next. Do not. Apatya. You must to avoid the following dietetic habits like processed and packed foods, like excess intake of chips, noodles, cake, bread, jam, chocolates. You must to avoid. And fast food and junk food. This is very important because of lack of time. They're using fast food and junk foods to avoid excessive intake of burger, pizza, samosa, etc. To restrict anorectal diseases, to prevent diseases. Addictions, this is very important. Smokers, drinking, tobacco chewing, etc. For excessive intake of alcohol, smoking, they leads to chronic constipation, leads to anorectal disorders. And bowel habits like constipation, excessive sitting on toilet, using laptop, mobiles, etc. during defecation, to avoid anorectal conditions. Lifestyle, this is very important. Sedentary, to avoid sedentary lifestyle, continuously sitting, watching movies, watching TVs, watching laptops, etc. To avoid exercises, it leads to obesity, leads to constipation, leads to anorectal diseases. Coming to some of the research works, finally, these are some of the research works we conducted in our National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur. These are the already we discussed like Estumadi Gruta, Jatyadi Gruta, Trifala Gugulu, Gandhaka Rasayana, and Shirabala Taila, etc. Oil enemas we conducted in our institute authentically. Next. These are all research works. Already we discussed previous. Next. And thank you. And thank you all Ayurvedic fraternity and all other practitioners, listeners attending this program. And I am very thankful to Canada India Foundation and Canada Ayurvedic Practitioners Association, and especially organizers, Harish Verma sir and all other organizers giving this opportunity to share my knowledge in this platform. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Professor Kumar, for your very, very insightful presentation. I think we learned a lot. Of course, all our viewers have learned a lot and they have a lot of questions. Let me invite Dr. Harish Verma to moderate that segment. Dr. Verma, over to you.
Thank you, CG. Dr. Hemanji, first of all, I congratulate you and I am thankful to you for your fantastic presentation. You explained all anorectal diseases in a very simple way. I'm sure all our viewers on Zoom and on national television, Y Media, may have understood these problems in a very simple way. Sir, I have a few questions. Many patients from US and Canada, they want to go to India for Kshar Sutra treatment. Are you attending the patients from abroad in your institution? And what
Definitely,
is the cost of the treatment?
Yes, sir. We treated so many patients from USA, UK, Germany, and Dubai, and some other countries. You see, here cost actually what happened. This is a National Institute from Ministry of Ayush. The charges is nil. There is we are treating free of cost.
Free of cost. Okay.
Free of cost.
And sir, for how long patients have to stay? Say, if the patient of Fennel Fisher is coming to you,
sir. Fisher in Ano, yes, sir. Fisher in Ano, we can come for our hospital If it is acute fissure in ano, usually we can guide the patient to treat in their home only. Why? Because it not need any type of admission. If the availability is not there, we will train the patient 2 or 3 days in our hospital with especially for oil enema. That is very important. That is Matra Basti. That you can train the patient. We can continue in their home for 15 days or 2 to 3 weeks in their home. Definitely it will reduce the acute fissures. But chronic fissures with sentinel tag, we will admit in our hospital. Maximum 2-3 days, we will admit according to their investigations, 1 day investigations, 1 day procedure, 1 day we can discharge. So this is our protocol.
So can patients book appointment online through your
Yes, sir.
website?
Online appointment also is there, and by mail also we can appoint the availability in the website. National Institute of Ayurveda website, there is online booking also is there.
And sir, you mentioned about Anutel. Anutel
Yes, sir.
is usually given for these nasal problems.
It's
Is
a
a
very
nasal.
good question.
But
Yes, sir. Very good question. Actually, this is the commonest question expecting from. Why? Because so many people knows about Anutaila is only for nasal disorders. Okay,
Yes.
Nasya purpose. But Susruta,
Yes.
they mentioned in fistula and ano. So I am a postgraduate from Benares Hindu University. And there is a lot of
Okay.
research works conducted Anutaila in fistula and ano and anorectal disorders. And we
Okay.
trained, same question in my PG study also, we learn in bachelor degree, Anutaila for Nasya. But typically in Susruta Samhita, in fistula and ano chapter, Susruta mentioned Anutaila is the best for post-operative pain and relieving constipation.
So what could be the mode of action of this Anutela and fistula?
Sir, here what happened, Anutaila, especially in post-operative conditions, we are not only using this Anutaila for Matra Basti, we are injecting Anutaila in the external opening of the fistula.
Oh,
Yes, for Sodhana purpose and Ropana purpose.
okay.
That we
So
are using.
it may be acting as a cauterization.
Yes,
So
sir,
removing
definitely.
the debris.
Yes, sir,
Removing the
debris.
debris.
Yes, sir. It encourages the healing of the fistula tract with the help of Charasutra and Anutaila.
And you mentioned about the Durvadi Ghritam,
Yes, sir.
how effective it is.
So this is a very important drug, and we conducted the research either PG level and PhD level also. And this Durvadi Gruta, and especially for to stop the bleeding, number one. The Durva itself for hemostatic purpose, especially for
Yes.
fissure in ano,
Yes.
the bleeding is the commonest complaint. To stop the bleeding, number one. Number two, it helps for the healing of the wound. Durvadi Gruta, we are application by finger application, by digital examination, digital application of the rectal wound, especially in the fissure bed. It encourages to stop the bleeding and encourages the healing of the fissure wound. Automatically reduce the pain also.
And sir, the last question is, in Crohn's disease, we usually see fissures very common. And
Yes, sir, very good.
have you managed any patients of Crohn's disease with fissures with the
Yes, sir,
medical
definitely.
treatment only?
Yes, sir, it's very good question. Actually, what happened? Chronic disease, Crohn's disease, everybody knows, so, but it is a systemic condition, inflammatory bowel
Yes.
disease. And we
Yes.
can not only the local treatment, you must to go for systemic treatment also. Why?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we are using Picha Basti.
Okay.
Picha Basti, especially for Dadi Madi Gruta. Dadi Madi Gruta is a very wonderful drug for especially for Grahani, Pravahika. This Dadi Madi Gruta, we can offer the Picha Basti. This is very good. Or you can do Dadi Madi Gruta with Matra Basti. It is helpful one. And internally also we can use Dadi Mastaka Churna. Internal medication, Dadi Mastika Churna. Or Dadi Madi Gruta also internally we can give 15 to approximately 15 ml. Or you can 2 to 3 spoons of Dadi Madi Gruta. Internally also we can advise the patient. That is one condition. Okay. And we can go for Matra Basti. And fissures, we can use Dadi Madi Gruta or maybe Jatyadi Gruta or ST Madhyaprabha. This is a very good.
Thank you,
Along
sir.
with symptom, systemic complaints, we must do like a mucus stools, diarrhea, dysentery. That also we can treat with either Dadimastika Churna or Gangadhar Churna, etc.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Over to Satish.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Verma. And Dr. Kumar, we have some more questions from the audience. I would like you to kind of
Yes,
give
sir,
a
I am
quick
ready.
answer to that. The
Definitely, sir.
first one is that how many ml of quath to use in case of sitz bath? If you can quickly.
Yeah, actually, what happened now? Around 30 ml quad, 30 ml decoction, we can use it in
30
sitz bath.
Okay, thank you. And next one is that in case of the Matra Bhasti, the oil which you're recommending, should it be lukewarm or normal oil or heated one?
Actually, what happens, sir? Either normal oil, so we can use it. If it is a pain is there, we can use the lukewarm oil.
Okay, thank you. And another question was the role of the buttermilk.
It's very important. See, takra, it's a very important dietetic regime, especially the mentioned in Ayurveda for Deepan Pachan. And for the, why? Because these are all the problems like piles, fistula, fissure, improper, what is called indigestion and constipation. By buttermilk, it reduces the indigestion and constipation and increases the Agni, increases the Deepanam and Pachana. It reduces the anorectal conditions to relieve the constipation.
Okay, lovely. And there was another question that do you use anesthesia for anal surgeries?
Yes, sir. We are using. Why? Because especially for some of the conditions of Kshara Sutra application, Kshara application, that post-operative pain and procedure pain is there. We are using under local anesthesia.
Okay, perfect. And the last one is some insight on untreated chronic anal fissure.
Okay, treatment of untreated chronic fissures. Sir, actually, I explained previously, acute fissures not treated, it goes to chronic fissure in anal. Chronic fissure is not treated, it leads to some complications like abscess formation, fistula in ano, superficial fistula in ano, hypertrophied anal papillae, sentinel pipe. This is the common complaints of untreated condition. In this condition, hypertrophied anal papillae, sentinel tag, we can ligation with the help of Kshara Sutra, medicated setan, or with the help of Agni Karma, dermal cautery. If it is an infection, infected fissure bed, then we can apply for the Kshara Karma, caustic alkali therapy, you can apply it, it will reduce. If it is abscess formation, there is no other alternative. You must go for Sastra Karma. Susuta mentioned Vedana Karma. Okay, Vedana and Visravana. That is called incision and drainage.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Professor Kumar, for very, very insightful presentation. Of course, objective of our launching this Ayurvedic speaker series along with our partner organizations was on a single note that how we can promote more preventative healthcare through Ayurveda, and how we can also promote that Ayurveda can also be an effective tool in terms of the management of the diseases. I think you outlined very, very and articulated very nicely, giving us a lot of tips and a lot of takeaways in terms of our lifestyle, dietary habits, herbs, Ayurvedic herbs, and other procedures to follow. And we sincerely thank you for your time and your presentation, your insight. I'm pretty sure our audience have enjoyed it. And from everyone attending, and on behalf of the Canada India Foundation and our partner organization, Canadian Ayurvedic Practitioners Association, Consul General of India in Toronto, and also Vedic Spiritual Heritage Foundation, a very, very sincere thank you for your time and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us. And I also want to thank Honorable Michael Chong for joining this morning on Sunday morning and sharing his thoughts on India. And we are very excited and very happy to hear him on this session. And on behalf of Canada India Foundation and all our partner organizations, a sincere thank you. Our media partner is Y Channel, who's been covering all the session through their online channel and as well as their TV channel operating on all over Canada. So we want to thank Y Channel for covering this session today. And of course, our speaker series is continuing. We have the next session coming up on Ayurvedic management of anxiety and depression on July 11th. To all our participants and all our audience, please do share our series. All these series are recorded, available on YouTube to share further. And please do write to us for any of your input, and your any suggestion or advice is very important for us to keep improving our delivery of these speaker series. So please do write to us. And lastly, we want to thank each and every one of you, all our partner organization, Canadian Ayurvedic Practitioner Association, of course, Dr. Harish Verma, who is a champion, who is one of our inspiring, figure in launching this speaker series, and Consul General of India in Toronto, Shrimati Apurva Srivastava, and also Vedic Spiritual Heritage Foundation. On behalf of Canada India Foundation, we want to sincerely thank each and every one, and enjoy your rest of the day. Namaste, and look forward to meeting you the next speaker series on July 11th. Stay healthy and stay safe. Namaskar.
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 Namaskar.